Guess what time it is? It's Friday at noon. It's Festool Friday, and this is Festool Live. Woo! I am so excited today. I'm getting rid of my 6-foot stick. We're social distancing here at Festool North America, and welcome. We have one heck of a program today. But as usual, I want to announce the crew. Right here, we have Big D, and we have Chris, the camera dude. All right, we just upgraded to a new camera as well. Over here on the whiteboard is Minnie Gleb, Min we call her. She'll be writing down questions as they come in. But as those questions come in online, we have Travis. I call him Trappist. He's a rock star here at Festool, and we all really appreciate Travis working with us. He was here last week. Okay, business as usual. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, please. That way there you won't miss an episode, okay? If you do miss an episode in the future, we always post on Instagram, usually about mid-afternoon, Facebook, and also this will live on YouTube.
That's right.
Okay, so here we go, guys. Did I cover everything? Chris, did I get everything? Okay, so as I said last week, I am going to tell you a quick story. When I first came to Festool many, many years ago, I asked somebody who worked here with me, what's your favorite tool? And the dude, who I call him the dude, told me the HL850. And I went, the portable hand planer from our company? He goes, yeah. He goes, I just like it. It's he's German, by the way. And his first name begins with C. And I miss him. We miss him. All right? But the dude told me the HL850 was his favorite tool. And I could not wait to do this episode with you. This is episode number 25. I'm going to go over the basics. He made me investigate why it was such a great tool. This is one of our unsung heroes in our lineup, and hopefully you'll understand why at the end of Festool Live today. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm going to show you the tool right over here. It's a portable hand planer, power hand planer. Okay, and what I think's really neat about this tool is it takes the best of a regular hand plane. Okay, now as I go through this, I want you to understand why. Why would you actually investigate if you don't own the tool? Why would you put this into your arsenal? Okay, if you own a portable hand plane, you're gonna freak out on a couple things on this, and as I go through it, you'll see. Okay, now explaining the hand plane. This is the in feed. That's the out feed. You can see this is short. This is a chamfer groove. I'll explain all of that as we go. Okay, so when I started out with this, I went back to one of my favorite tools, is a 4.5 hand plane. Okay, regular hand plane. And you're going to notice the in feed is short and the out feed is long. And there's a reason for that. Okay, I also want to point this out to you. On the cutter, it is a single aluminum billet. I'll take it apart in a little while, okay, so you can see the blade change. But it's a single blade, okay? But you're going to notice it cuts with a shear cut. Let me explain a shear cut. I'm going to use this hand plane really quick. You know that if you've ever used a hand plane before, okay, my pressure's here in the beginning, and this is why the length here at the end, okay? So you can balance it and you don't get what is known as snipe. Okay? Now, if I went straight on with this hand plane like this, you're going to get some hesitations. Okay? But what if I take the hand plane like this, watch, and I tilt at the blade? I create what is known as a shearing cut. Okay? And it's a lot easier. We automatically incorporate that into the blade on the HL850. Okay? So when I saw that, I went, now we're talking, okay? Somebody at Festool and engineering is really thinking through this tool. I will explain blade changing. I'll explain that this is solid carbide. The blade is balanced to the single aluminum billet. So The other thing you're going to notice when I turn this on in a couple of minutes, it's wicked quiet. Okay, listen to this. Look. Oh, first I got to plug it in. Now, one of the things I'm gonna mention is I always recommend, because you know how much chip a portable hand planer makes, right? A ton of chip. Okay, you'll want to use a 36 millimeter. I'm going to use the one that comes with the CT48AC, the new one. And the reason I'm going to do that is because it's a conical hose. Now watch. See this right here? The 36 goes on the inside. Now, the reason you want that is because you're going to make a lot of chip quick. All right? You stand a chance of clogging. Now, somebody will ask, okay, and this is a question I know I'll probably get, can I use the 27 millimeter hose? Yes, you can. Okay, but remember, you're going to have to take lighter cuts with it because you don't want to clog it. Now, on the 27 millimeter hose, you're going to notice that there's this little ridge right here. See it? Okay, what that's for is for the HL850, because when you put it in here, there's actually a ribbon there that holds it in. So you can use a 27, but I will always tell you, if you're going to use it extensively and you want to take deep cuts, use it with a 36 millimeter hose. Okay, so you're going to notice it's a non-plug-it cord. I'm going to plug in right here to my CT48. All right, I don't need auto clean on it. My dust extraction is all the way up. I have it on auto. But I'm getting my hose on. But listen, so you hear this? Okay, hopefully you can hear that. Okay, I can actually talk over it because the decibel rating on this is only 76 decibels. The average human voice is 80 decibels.
How many decibels is yours?
I think I've been clocked in at 250.
That sounds about right.
All right. Woo! Okay, so like a typical hand plane, look where my pressure is in the front here. Okay, and I'm just going to take a slight cut with this. Okay, my pressure. Oh, let's do this. Let's talk about depth setting first. I'm going to take it. See where it says pack? Okay, and then you have, you know what? Let's see if we can get a zoom on this. Okay, can you get right in there on that? Is that better? See where it says pack? Okay, it's adjustable on the fly. That's 0. That means I'm completely level. And then you can take all the way up to 1/8 of an inch cut in a single pass. I'm going to put it at 1/16. There's your cursor right there. You getting that, Big D? Perfect. Here's your lock on. Okay, so I'm going to take it like this. I'll put my front shoe on here like this, and I'll just make a quick pass. Okay, my pressure's right here. And then as I get to the end, the pressure is right here at the end. Follow? So there you go. Now, what comes with that shear cut is, oh, I left a little there. Okay, look, is an extremely smooth cut. Now, in the kit, I'm going to unplug this so I can hook it up. All right, you're going to see there's 2 accessories that come with it. You're going to have this. It's basically a joint offense, okay? And that'll keep me in line, and I'll show you how this hooks up. It also comes with this, okay? This is, maybe we can get a zoom in on that, Big D. This is your, when you're doing rabbets, that's your depth stop. Okay?
Looks good.
It's a limit stop for your rabbeting, okay? Now, with this, I'm going to put it on, and you're going to see it goes in here like this. Let me see if I can get it over there so you can zoom in on it. Okay, it's a 5 millimeter wrench. The 5 millimeter wrench is right here. It's stored in back, and you just put it on here. There's a knob that tightens it up. There's another fence. Now let's look at the size of the fence. It's small, but you're also going to see right here. You know what, Chris? I'm going to have you come in here for this. Sorry about the camera work, everybody. We're getting used to the new camera. Okay, you got 2 tap holes. What I do for mine at home is I've actually done this. I made an accessory fence with those 2 tap holes because, look, I have that much more. Okay? I want as much fence against there as possible. But in the catalogs that we have this piece that everybody thinks it goes with our older discontinued bench unit. This is called the angle unit. This actually acts as a great joint defense. I'll show you what a joint defense is for. So I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to take my 5 millimeter wrench that's stored right here, okay, and I'll tap it on just like this. Okay. Your adjustment, okay, you have a little scale here. I don't really use the scale. See if we can come in here and get that, Chris. See it? Okay, and there's your pointer right there. Okay, I'm going to adjust it here, okay, and move it here. Okay, I want to do it for my width of board that I'm going to joint. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip right over here. I'm going to go get a square. Okay, I'll be right back, everybody. I'll just get my setup square I have. I've had this forever in my shop. And I'm just going to check my fence, okay? And if I see any daylight, this is what this knob's for, and I'll just bring it right in and take all the slop right out just like that. So now what I want, and if you notice my first cut, okay, I may not have been at 90, but now I will be at 90 and get a perfect cut like this. Now watch. See that? See how that's right against there? So, Chris, I'm going to have you, if you can, zip over here. There's a little knob right here. See this? And I want you to see it. And then I'm going to have you come over here, Chris. Okay? And you're going to see what that does. As I pull it down, you're going to see how I can lift and check where my cutter head is. Okay? Just like this. So I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it right here, and then I'm going to back it off. And now I'm going to get started, okay? As I plug it in, hashtag whoopsie, woo, get that power. It works so much better with electricity. Okay, there we go. All right, so I get it started like this. I'm going to lock in that cut. Okay, and here we go. Okay, now I'm going to make one more cut. Okay, now, what I want to do is I want to come in here, and Big D, I'll have you zoom in. You see this right here? I was doing a 16th of a cut. Okay? I'm going to bring it all the way up to an 1/8 of an inch of a cut. Okay? Now, Chris, I'm going to have you zoom down here. Do you see much dust? No, I think the dust you see are the shavings from the hand plane. Okay?
I think you're right.
Okay, now, I had never seen this before. Okay? But when I saw, I would never, ever take, even on my thickness planer at home, I would never take an 1/8 inch of a cut. Let alone do it like this, watch. So I'm going to check where my cutter is. I'm going to back it off. Okay, would you ever stop midway? Now, is an 1/8 of an inch big? You tell me. Look at that cut, everybody. Is that amazing? Okay, and look, there's no daggone sawdust on the floor. So I'm going to take it right here. Now, I'm going to feel that where I started. Okay, I'm going to back it off. Would you ever start it like this and finish it? You know what? Let's do this. Let's mark it where I'm stopping and starting. Okay, just like this. Okay, you get that, Chris? Okay, I'm going to bring it over. Okay, I'll back it off, and I'll start it. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so there's a little line there, but there's no catch. There's no snipe, everybody. This is the smoothest hand planer, portable hand planer, powered hand planer you have ever used. Okay, and I just wanted to point that out there. It's a variety of things. Now, number one, it's that shear cut. But number two, think about this. If you don't have good dust extraction, look at the cut here, everybody. Come over here, Chris, so you can see this. Derek, do you have a view of this?
Yep.
Look at this. It's so smooth. You don't have those little divots. It's because we're pulling the chip away, and you don't have those little divots in there. Okay, so that's how smooth this is. It's a combination of things. Well, like everybody says, I always say it's a system, right? Okay, that's why dust extraction is so important. Okay, speaking of dust extraction, let's talk about this. If that hose gets in the way, this port with this knob is removable. So I could take this port and bring it over here, but you always got to remember this. See this there's a little arrow here, okay? If I put the port over there, make sure you put it over there. Okay, so if I could take that, switch it over, then it goes. But I know I was gonna get dust collection there, so I just aim this little arrow this way, and I know there's a blast gate in there to make sure the direction of the chip flows either way. Now, let's call this out. See this right here? Okay, let's go over to the knob right here. Okay, that little green. Okay, I'm gonna take it, and there's a little notch at the bottom. Do you get it like that? And I'm gonna move it over. And what that does is that I could take, and you'll see the movement of it, I can move it over like that. So let's look at this. See how this is all flush? Think about if you have a portable hand planer now, okay? There's usually a nut and the guard covers halfway. So where this shines is for doing rabbets, okay? Or, as they say on the other side of the pond, rebates, okay? Something like this, look, okay? This is a rabbet. This, and you'll see we call it out, but it's true. You can get unlimited depth of rabbet because it doesn't get impeded by the blade guard or the nut holding the cutter head on. Okay? And it's a simple setup. If we have time, I'll show you how to set. You know what? Let's just do it. Okay? So I have my fence here, and say I want to do a rabbet on here. Let's see if I can get this set up quick enough. Let's see. Yeah, you know I can. I'll just use the clamping elements. I'll put it in here like this. Then I'll take this and put it here like this. Okay, so I want let me get I don't even have my meter stub or my folding ruler. Let me grab that. Okay, so I want a rabbet. Let's see, I want it to go in about 25 millimeters. Okay, just like that. Okay, good. So then I'll set my fence on this side at 25 millimeters this way. Okay, so let's check that out. Let's do that. Let's loosen that knob and let's bring it in a little. Woo, 25 millimeters. Okay, just like this. How are we doing on time, guys? Pretty good?
Yep, we're at 17 minutes.
Oh, man. Okay, but now I want to control my depth of rabbet this way. So that's what this notch is for, and this is basically a limit stop. And how this goes on, and you know, Derek, I'm going to have you zoom in on this, and Chris, you can as well. There's a little line right here. See it? You got it?
Yep.
Right here? Okay. When I put this on, I can line up, let's just say, and this is the American version, I want to go down an inch. Okay, and that's the lineup. And when I start it, and the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring into the camera right here, and this is what allows you to do it, is this cut ahead. Now, I will show you how to set this up in a few minutes, okay, but you're going to notice that it's perfectly flush here, and it just protrudes ever so slightly. There's only one kind of setup on this. Okay, and you see that little edge right there? That allows me to get right down in that corner and get a continuously clean cut. So I have this set up. I'm going to set it up right here, okay, and I'll get it. Whoa! Look at that! It's really good if you hook up the dust extraction. Woo! Did you get that on camera? That's awesome. Okay, so let me get back in there. Let me get it started again. Okay, let's do that. Oh, that's cool. Boy, that actually worked out a little. I'm just going to move this over a little. Okay, so you know what? I'll move it back so I can get a full extension on this. Sorry, guys. I should have done a rabbet before we started, but you know what? We're all human on this stuff. Okay, so you see that right there? And then I can do multiple passes. Now the only thing I have to do is really, I could take this completely off, which I'm gonna. Okay? And because I want you to see how accurate this machine is. Because this little edge right here lines up with the sole or the infeed and outfeed tables of the HL850. Okay? And look how quick everything comes on and off on this, including the dust extraction. Okay, but I could take that. See this? Make sure we get that, guys. See how I just put the edge there and start it? So this edge here, and I would keep going and going and going until I reach my desired depth. So if you think about it, that cutter, I'll just move this so you can see it, that cutter lines right up with that edge, and that's what you get. It's completely clean, and it's unlimited. So for big time architectural pieces that you need to do on a job site, you can do them. Okay? So there you go. That's setting up to do a rebate or rabbet, however you talk about it, or however you pronounce it. All right, cool. Wow, this is fun. There's something on here that I want to talk about because I used to hear from all kinds of people, oh, it's got a chamfer groove. And someone finally came up to me and said, why do I need a chamfer groove? And on other planers, like I have a block plane at home, okay, that actually has a chamfer groove in it. And that was for doing bamboo rods. The chamfer groove, and that's how I learned about this, is when you do a chamfer groove. And by the way, let me put that extract back on this time, okay? It's to get you started, to create what is known as a facet consistently. So if I just took this on here, this would wobble. But if I take it like this, and I'm gonna go less of a cut. I'm just used to setting this up for max cut because it's so smooth. Look, see how I have it right there? By the way, there's a little line right there, so I know I'm in my groove. Hey Mo, I'm in my groove. And watch. See how it stays right on that corner? Okay, and you can see how consistent that is. So that's just a break an edge if you want. But now I can take that, and now I have a reference part. Look. And I can get consistency with that. And it's pretty slick. Now, once again, okay, you're always going to have some tear out. And that has to do with what? The direction of how you're aiming the machine, the planer. So what I would do with something like this is I would go to the other side of the table because I'm getting tear out, and I would go the other direction. So always look at your boards to see what's the best way of attacking the grain. Okay, now, the other thing you can do that I have shown people in the past with this is you see how I now have an angle here, an angle here, or an edge and an edge. You could take that. Everybody goes, oh, it's just for doing, chamfers. No, you can use it to do a roundover. Look. If I get it like this, and then look, I'll come and get it like this. Whoopsie. See that? As soon as you do that, and look how consistent that is, okay? And then you can follow it again, and you can create that roundover, or get you close for it. Just like that. Now, the only thing you got to do now is take a interface pad. So if you're on a job site, hear me out on this. If you're on a job site and you don't have a big roundover bit for your router, and you need to do a big roundover, say on a drop edge somewhere, you could do it with the HL850. What you're trying to do is eliminate a lot of sanding to do it. You can hog it out like that. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to take the blade out. I'm going to take the machine. We're going to do this right here, so I could show you a couple of tips and tricks on that. Woo! Man, we got a lot set up today, though, guys, don't we? Okay. Okay. Hopefully that didn't come through like that, but it did. Hey, Mo. Okay, so whenever you're changing something, always unplug it. And I'm going to try to do this here, D. Okay, I'm going to take that blade guide, get it out of the way. Is that coming in?
Looks great.
Okay, and then there's another green knob right here, or a button. That's the arbor lock. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on its side like this, and I'm going to take that 5mm wrench that's stored here, and I'm going to rotate it so that blade isn't sticking out that way, and I'm just going to take it like this and spin it off. Now, the thing I want to mention for you, or to you, is this. There are two washers on here. There's this one, and the one that disappears right there. That locks it on the arbor shaft. Don't lose it, and don't forget to put it on because you don't want to lock the head to the machine. So when I take it off, I just go like that, okay, and take it off. Okay, so I'm going to take this out of here, and now we're going to get to this blade. Okay, Chris, I need you in here because I want you to... Are we still there, Derek?
Up top, yep.
Okay, up top. So I want you to see a few things on here. See how it's shallow here and deep here? The deep always goes to the machine, okay? So when I change a blade, I always call it deep is down. Deep is to the table. Okay, now, these are little gib screws, or jib screws, however you pronounce it, and that's what's holding the blade in. But you're going to notice that they're super clean. Go look at other planers out there. They're usually to the front holding it in. This is, and it also, it's quiet too because this isn't causing air circulation to, or a whirring noise. But it also keeps them clean. I need to get the right millimeter hex. So Chris, zoom up here. We include it, and everybody goes and gets the hex out of their kit, and it's actually in the handle. So if I take that and pull it out, you're going to see that hex key to change it. And what you do is you just loosen them up. Okay, now this is a single aluminum billet that's milled, okay, and balanced. And then we take the cutter and put it in and balance. So what's important to know about that, on the straight cutter, it's carbide, and on the rustic cutter heads, which I'm going to get into in a minute, okay, those are high-speed steel. Because these are all manufactured at the same weight, when we put it in here, we will actually take the divots out of the aluminum billet to balance it. So that's why you have, that's why it is so smooth. So you're going to notice on here, okay, this is solid carbide. You're going to notice these little arches. The arches, when you put it back in, are facing what? The gib screws. Okay, so I'm just going to slide that in. Now, you could actually do this right on the machine, but to get it to line up, to do that outside edge perfectly, I always put it down here. I push it down. I mean, you're laughing. Okay. Okay, and then I tighten them up. I don't over-tighten them. I just get them set. Okay, and then once I know they're set, like this, then I can take it up and put a little bit of torque on there. Okay? And that's how you set up, and that's how you change the blade. Okay? Just like that. Buy your replacements. Buy some replacements if you know you're going to use this a lot. And then, remember, it's the deep side down. Okay? I'm going to set that hex key. Then you have right here the lock washer. Okay, don't lose it. Yes, people lose it. Okay, and there you go. Okay, and then tighten it up, just like this. Tighten it up. We're doing good still, guys?
Yep.
Okay, I want to get it. We're doing good? Absolutely. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so I see, Minnie, you have a question. It says here, please demo how to edge joint with the 850 accessory and an accessory fence. Okay, so I kind of did that at the beginning. You can go back and review that. And a lot of times, well, I know the majority of the time I've ever had snipe, it's because of the balance of the machine. Always remember your forward balance of the front and the back balance. A sniping comes when you put too much pressure at the end on the front, okay? So there you go. Let's see. So the second question Minnie is up there before I get into rustic cutter heads is please demo proper jointing tech using the bench stand. I cannot. We discontinued the bench stand worldwide. So and if you the bench stand was not really for jointing long pieces. It was just for small pieces or to put a quick chamfer on something. Okay, so the third question is please demo different heads. And guess what? I have that right here. And I love it because I covered a lot of great things about just using the straight head on there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that straight head off. You know how to put it on. It's really quick. Okay, just like this. Okay. And I'm going to spin it off. Takes 2 seconds. You know, we should have put a timer on this. Okay, remember, don't lose those. And come over here, Chris, so I can show you, everybody. There's 3 different types of heads. There's the undulating head, and remember, these are all high-speed steel cutters, okay? So you have the undulating. This creates a hand-scraped effect. You have this one, which is a coarse rustic, okay? The head looks like this. Hopefully we can get that. We'll get more up close on this in a few minutes, okay? And then you have the fine rustic cutter head. Okay, now, I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to bring this in there so you guys can see the effects that these rustic cutter heads produce. And then I'll do one, okay? So if we come in here, do you have this, Big D? Okay, but to really pop it, and I'm going to tell you right now, everybody, you've probably seen some distressing like this. You see that? Is that better?
Oh, yeah.
I'm using the inspection light and creating a raking light. You've probably walked on this at different establishments or even in your own home. It creates what is known as a hand-scraped effect on flooring. But more also, distressing beams, an architectural beam. Okay, so that's the one I'm going to do. But I want to show you this. I have these in walnut. Okay, now, these heads you can be as creative as you want. So when I started looking at these, I was like, check this out. This is the fine rustic cutter head. See that? You can create different effects with that. Here's one for you. Look, you can do this across a board. Okay. So when I first started doing these and making samples and experimenting with them many years ago, look, this is the coarse rustic cutter head, okay? Look, this is doing multiples with that head. So you can see you can get as creative as you want. But for me, being a cabinet maker, I was like, where would I use this? Okay, so look, everybody, look, a typical raised panel door, right? Without the cope and stick, okay? But everybody does cope and stick raised panel doors. What I think's cool, if you do it on and this is where I started thinking about it, look at this effect. So you open a door, look, here's your cope and stick, your cope and stick door. But what if you open it and you have an architectural on the back like this, detail? Okay, so you can get as creative as you want with this. And look at this, okay? So look, see how I raised the back here on this? And you can see where, boy, that creates a nice effect. You know what it does? It singles you out amongst the norm. So you can do stuff with that with the HL850. So hopefully I showed you why the rustic cutter head. Let me show you how to set it up. So I'm going to take this piece of walnut. We'll set it up here. Because there's a few things I need to show you on this. Oh, this is actually the perfect board. I just want to read the grain a little on this so I can see which direction I'm going to go. Okay, so I think I'm going to go this way because of the flow. If I went this way, it might dig in a little. So I'm going to be going in this direction. So that's the flow. I'm going to take it. In other words, you got to choose the direction. It doesn't always work that way. But you got to choose the direction that's best for less chip out. Okay, so let's put the cutter head in. I'm going to come back here and grab it. Oh, we're still good on time, everybody?
Looks good.
Okay, and I'm going to grab this, which everybody forgets to put in. Okay, this is called the limit stop because there's only one setting for depth on this. It's P for the park position. Okay? Because you should not and you won't take too big a cut. So I'm going to put that in. Remember, it's deep down. The lock washer right here, the top washer, and the 5mm bolt, cap screw, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'll get that in there. Okay, perfect. Believe it or not, I used to have multiple HL850s to set this up. And you know what I decided? I decided, you know what? I want to show everybody or train people how quick you can go from one cutter to another. Okay, now what the limit stop does is when I put this in, and maybe we can get 2 different angles on this. You see right here, that's where your rabbet depth stop is. See how that prevents you from going any deeper? And there's a reason for that. Okay, Chris, I'm going to have you zip out here and go. It's because when you're working with wood that has a lot of hard knots in it, okay, your wood is knotty, baby, okay? If I take too big a cut with this, hey, Mikey, that was for you, buddy. You used to call it knotty pine and spell it naughty, N-A-U-G-H-T-Y, baby. Okay, so if you have knotty wood like this, if you take too big a cut with a rustic cutter head, you could do some serious damage to your HL850. So that's why you should only use your cuts and park. Okay, so let's set this up. All right, I got it right here. Now, I just did a Instagram post on this, okay? And this is what Big C taught me. This thing used to get in my way. What this is for is when I'm using it and I set it down, it's spring-loaded. And so if I'm using it straight, Chris, can we come in here, see this? If I'm using it straight like this, it flips up. But there's sometimes when I'm going at this with an angle, it gets in my way. It's quite frustrating. So what you can do, and hey, C, did we call this the thingamajig? You can you can take this. I call it a kickstand. You could take it and look. There's a little notch here. You can flip it and it holds out of the way. Okay. Woo! I haven't had this much fun in years. All right, so I'm going to plug her in. And it's the same thing. As a regular hand plane, everybody, you have to understand where your pressures are and to avoid snipe and tear out. This is your front, and this is the back shoe. Front shoe, back shoe. In feed, out feed. Okay? You have to understand your pressure on there to avoid snipe. Okay? I always try to wrap the cord and the hose up around my arm. And as I come in on this, there's no right or wrong on this. It's how creative you wanna be. So as I get to the end, my pressure's there. Okay? And I'm gonna go right across that knot. But my pressure's now here. That's how you avoid snipe. And then you can come this way with it. However creative you want to get. And what I like to do is I like to take a Rotex with a little bit of higher grit, maybe 180 granite, and just sand it out some of the high spots, and boy, does that create a nice effect. Now, this is what I want to point out. Woo! Everybody. Let's look at the floor. Okay? Look at the mess I made because I forgot to put the hose on. Okay? So, I always get a kick out of it when someone says, well, that's not that impressive. Should I? Yeah. Should I?
Let's
Big
go for
D,
it.
Minnie? Okay, so.
Safety glasses on, everyone.
Everybody got safety glasses on? Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to run this without a hose. I'm going to make, 3 or 4 passes, guys?
Sure.
Oh, no, stop it, see. Watch. Okay? I want to show you how much dust is coming out of here. Okay? So anybody who has a portable hand planer, look at this. Look at this. That was 4 passes. Anybody who's got a portable hand planer knows how much dust one of these machines makes. And you can see how great the Festool HL850 is. And you know what? We better be good at the dust extraction. We're world renowned for it. This you get, oh my God, I don't know the percentage, but I'd say you get 99% of that chip with that machine. Now, the other thing I want to point out that nobody knows about, because it's in our catalog, is this. You can actually put a bag on this, and this is actually fairly effective. Okay? So I just want to point that out. That's another accessory. Oh my goodness, Minnie, did we cover all the questions? Oh, how about this one? This is one I used to get all the time. Can I sharpen those blades when I take them out? Woo, is that a toughie? Because I've done this in the past. You got to be really careful about this because remember what I said. The straight cutter is carbide, and we balance those blades to that cut ahead. Okay, so you gotta be careful. If you sharpen, you're gonna take a lot of weight off there, so it won't be balanced. And the other ones are high-speed steel. So my suggestion is this: if you got a nick in there, you're gonna have to get a new one because you're gonna take away a lot of material. If you need to do a quick honing on them, just lap the back. And the carbide has to be on a diamond plate, and the other ones have to be on whatever. You can use a diamond plate for that. Just go and get another cut ahead. I have them right here. You can get them just like this. I got them in the old package, okay? And you can go and get these. Man, that's a really old package, but you'll see that they're not that expensive, okay? So save yourself some time. Don't sharpen them. Just get a new one. Okay. Oh, my God. Okay, so carbide versus high-speed steel. Somebody wants to know the difference? Okay, so I used to deal with this day in, day out when it came to saw blades. High-speed steel is not, carbide is not sharper than high-speed steel. It's just that it stays sharper longer. It's harder, but it's also more brittle. The reason we have a a carbide cutter on the shear cut for the straight cut is that's the one you're going to probably use the lion's share of the time. So that's why it's not that it's sharper, it just stays sharper longer. Okay? Did that make sense? I hope so. Same thing with your, we used to use, man, I'm an old guy. We used to use high-speed steel blades on our table saws because, boy, they can get really sharp, but they dull quick. Okay, so there you go. Okay. You know what's really funny? I just looked at the clock and I said, oh, that's going to be a quick one right before we started. Okay, so I got to call this out because this makes my day when I look at this. Minnie, you're the best at this. Hopefully, hey, I want to call out Travis. You have a good day today, buddy? You're awesome. Okay, so we have people. Wow, I think that's a first. We have people from the Philippines. We have people from the Bay Area. Hope you're staying safe out there. We've been watching you guys on the news. Crystal Lake, Illinois, West Texas. Woo! Caldwell, Idaho. Idaho. Stateville. Oh, no. Joe Gregory. That's you, baby. Joe Boom Boom Gregory. Okay, we have Russia, France, Frost Hardwood Lumber in San Diego. Damon Felker. Woo! How you doing? Melbourne, Australia. Wow, man, this is so cool. We have Korea. We have John Knight, our sales manager from the Bay Area. Whoop, 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 whoop. Good to hear. It's good to see you, buddy. Keep watching. Southern California, Edmonton, Georgia. Okay. UK, and what's the Z? New Zealand? Oh, UK times 2. Okay. We have South Africa. We have the Netherlands, Arizona. We have Tennessee, South Dakota, Malta, you're always there. We love you, baby. Poland, Hoover, Alabama, Sacramento, California, Bad Homburg, Germany, which is really cool because I know quite a few people from there. Columbus, Ohio. And we have from the other side of the building, we have a guy who's just the greatest. His name is Scott Herbert. And he runs and oversees our repair department and service. Scott, I told you I would get the HL850 under our wings, and I did. Hopefully, I answered all the questions that you had asked me to cover. Who else? Okay, so that's it. God, I can't believe we've done 25 of these, gang. Okay,
Awesome.
So once again, Big D, love you. C, I love you. Minnie, you know I love you. Travis, you're the bomb. I love you too. We love all of you. Thank you for watching. Get ready for next week because people have been asking me this question, and we're covering it finally. And I ain't telling you. So stay tuned. Episode 26 coming at you next Friday at noon. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Woo!
Thanks, everybody.